Hello, I'm Terry Carter. I'm with UGA Extension, and today we're going to be making some wonderful recipes, and these are all going to be vegetable recipes from your garden. The first recipe we're going to be making is called Easy Peasy Pasta, and basically it's called Easy Peasy because we're doing a lot of spring green vegetables in the first pasta. So the second pasta will be a summer vegetable pasta. So let's get started on our first pasta. Our ingredients are all green. We have green peas here, sugar snap peas. We have snow peas, asparagus, and then we have some basil here. Those are going to be our main ingredients. So the first thing we want to do is to go ahead and saute our vegetables. We have pasta here. The pasta has already been cooked, and we're going to add this pasta last instead of adding it, instead of showing you how to cook the pasta. Everybody knows how to cook pasta. Just make sure it's not too overdone, because if so, the pasta will start to fall apart on you in your dish, okay? So the first thing we want to go ahead and put in here, I would say, would be our asparagus. So we'll add our asparagus there. And so we just want to saute these. I didn't do a lot of asparagus, but you can do as much as you want it. The next one we have here are our sugar snap peas and snow peas. We're going to add those. So we have basically three things that are green that we're adding here. And all I did was to go ahead and chop these up in half. We took our peas, snow peas, and sugar snap peas, and we basically cut them in half on the diagonal. Now you can cut these more than once if you want to, and it will be a three-part. Basically, the more you chop it or cut it, the easier it is to pick up, and it will go farther as well. So when you need to feed a lot of people, go ahead and chop up your vegetables smaller so they'll go farther. They'll last longer. Everybody gets smaller pieces, and smaller pieces go farther. Okay, that's just a little trick or hack. All right, so here we go, getting our greens done. And basically, we don't want to overcook this because the sugar snap peas and the snow peas will cook very, very quickly. So we don't want to overcook those. The only thing that's going to take a little minute to cook would be the asparagus. And asparagus can also be eaten raw. All of these vegetables we're cooking can be eaten raw. So the amount of doneness that you have for these vegetables would depend mostly on you and your taste, okay? So we're going to stir fry those just a little bit. All right. And our ingredients that we're going to add, we'll be making a little sauce here, and our sauce will consist of basically some lemon zest. We took our lemon and zested it, and here's our lemon juice here. So we're going to use the lemon juice, the lemon zest, but first we want to go ahead and mix up here a little mustard. It has a little mustard in it, so I'm going to go ahead and add my mustard here, and I'm adding about a tablespoon of the mustard. Okay. All right, there's our mustard. I'm going to toss that around a little bit. I'm going to add in my lemon zest, and I'm going to add in my lemon juice. All right. All right, smells good. It has a lemony flavor, and this is basically it. And you're going to add in some pasta and your seasonings. But if you were here, you could smell this. It has a very nice lemony flavor. And if you don't like the flavor of lemon, you could leave it out, but it's going to take a lot away from this dish. So if I were you, I would go ahead and leave the lemon in there. But you could very well make your pasta and then just add your vegetables to it. But it's up to you. Now, the pasta that we use fettuccine, but you could use linguine. You could use a smaller pasta. It really doesn't matter what kind of pasta. This recipe really calls for a larger or wider pasta, but we went with the fettuccine. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add my pasta. And if you want more peas than pasta, I would say just add less pasta. So it's up to you. I like more vegetables and less pasta, simply because I'm looking at my carbs and trying to keep my carbs a little low. So I tend to add a little less pasta and go heavy on the vegetables. We all need to eat more vegetables anyway, so it's okay to add as many vegetables as you like. I think we'll need a little bit more pasta here. So I'm going to add a little bit more. I have enough pasta here for both dishes, so I'm going to kind of divide it up. All right. That was quick. And basically this is our dish. Now, the only thing you need to do at this point, because the lemon juice and the lemon zest is going to give it quite a bit of flavor, the only thing that you really need to do at this point is add in some seasoning. Now, what kind of seasonings would you add? I would say add a little salt, a little pepper. I like also a little garlic powder in here just to give it a little hint of garlic. You don't have to if you don't want to, but just a garlic, because you know that lemon and garlic goes together. Lemon, pepper, and garlic are three flavors that really accent each other. So we're going to add just a little bit of garlic here, not a lot. It's up to you how much garlic. Now today we're using a dried granulated garlic. I forgot to buy my fresh garlic. That is what I would have used. The fresh garlic will give it a really, really nice flavor. And the thing about using all fresh ingredients as opposed to using frozen ingredients or canned ingredients, which I never use, is the fact that the fresh ingredients are going to give you way more flavor. When you taste it, you bite into it, you'll taste that fresh flavor, okay? So we put a little granulated garlic in there. Also, I'm going to add a little bit of parsley. And you can add a little bit more parsley at the end just to top it off and use it as a garnish. We're also going to put in a little bit of basil. This is fresh basil that I've chopped up, and I have enough basil for both dishes. Once again, fresh. The fresh herbs will give you a lot. The fresh herbs will give you a lot of flavor. We have dried and fresh today, and that's fine. And this is our easy peasy pasta dish. Now, one more ingredient that we could have put in here that I didn't put in here today. Let me turn it down a little bit so you can hear me a little bit better. Fresh, well, we can't find fresh English peas, but you can find frozen English peas. I wouldn't use canned in this dish because canned English peas will already really be mushy. So you want a pea that is very firm. So you can get frozen sweet peas and add frozen sweet peas in here. I always tell people when you're making a dish, make this dish your own. So if it's something else that you want to add to this dish, by all means, go ahead and add it into it. You could put some of the bell pepper. We're not putting the bell pepper in here today. You could put the bell pepper. You could add mushrooms. We're saving our inaki mushrooms for the second dish. But you could very well put mushrooms in here. You could also put onions. We have onions, but we're saving our onions for our second dish as well. So this is our spring pasta dish. Now this dish can be a main dish. If you're a vegan or vegetarian, this is a wonderful dish. You can have some bread on the side with this with a little butter. If you're not vegan and you like meat like me, this is a great dish to have as a side dish. Now what side dish would I use? What meat would I use with this? This will go well with chicken breast, with salmon, with fish, a lot of different things. You could actually mix in shrimp with this and have a shrimp dish if you wanted to as well. So I tell people, make these dishes your own. So that's our dish, and I think we're ready to go. I'm adding a little salt here. We really don't need much salt, but we'll add a little bit of salt here. We're going to add a little bit of pepper. You use white pepper or black pepper. We're using black pepper, but if you want to use white pepper so that you really don't see it, you could use the white pepper as well. Use what you have if you don't want to spend extra money. I tell people, use what you have in your pantry already and try not to go out and buy extra things, because a lot of times we let things sit in our pantry so long and we don't use them. So go ahead and use what you have and get it out of the way and refresh it so you can get some fresh ingredients, okay? So this is pretty much our dish. Now, if the dish is a bit dry for you, you can definitely add in some chicken broth or vegetable broth if you wanted to. That would be fine if you feel as though it's a little dry. We made ours with coconut oil, and we had just enough coconut oil, and I think it went very well. So I'm going to plate this up and let you see what it looks like here. All right. Now, what we could do with this also is to, and I like to put a few of the peas on top just so people can see the peas. I also like to, there's our dish. Also, we have some Parmesan cheese, so if you want to sprinkle a little Parmesan cheese onto this, you could. Now, a lot of people that are vegan would not use the Parmesan cheese because the cheese comes from a cow. But if you want to, you can put that on there. You can also garnish that with a little bit of parsley. Fresh parsley would be great. So I'm going to go ahead and move this out of here, and we'll start on our second dish, okay? So this is a great dish to make ahead. You see how easy it was? The hardest thing about making this dish, I would say, probably would be to cut up your peas and make them small. And once again, we did the peas on the diagonal, and this dish is ready to go. I would serve this with some delicious garlic bread. That would be great. Also with your meat, chicken. The quickest fish that you can make with this would be tilapia. Tilapia fillets are very, very easy to make. It would look great with this. The fillets are inexpensive and they're thin. They're very thin, so they take just minutes to cook. You could probably even go ahead and cook your tilapia in here if you wanted to. Season it with some of the same seasonings we had. Won't even have to change. So we're going to get this cleaned out and we'll start on our second dish. So basically we're doing a one-pot meal here. If you wanted it to be a one-pot meal. We put everything in here. This was quick. And you could make this for a weeknight dinner. It wouldn't take very long at all. So we'll go ahead and clear out. We don't have to really clean this out very well because we only use vegetables here. So it's nothing in here that's going to contaminate that, but we'll go ahead and clean it out a little bit, all right? All right, very easy dish, very quick to do, all right? So starting on our second dish. Our second dish, very similar to the first one, except without the greens. We're going to be using some summer vegetables. All the time, people say, what can I do with all this zucchini? What can I do with all of this squash that I have in my garden? And here in Georgia, squash and zucchini comes in starting around May and probably go through the mid-July. So we get a lot of squash here. If you don't get the squash vine borer like I do in my garden, it kills off my squash very early. And if you're lucky enough to get a bumper crop of squash, what can you do with it? Well, we're going to show you a vegetable spaghetti recipe. Once again, we're using the fettuccine noodles, but you could use regular spaghetti noodles. I even found some red noodles that are veggie noodles. So whatever kind of pasta you wanted to use would be fine with this. So we're going to get our heat going back up again here. We're going to add in some more of our coconut oil. Now you don't have to use coconut oil. Whatever kind of oil you want to use is up to you. I'm using coconut oil. It's a little healthier. We also have olive oil here. But we're using our coconut oil. That tends to be the trend lately, is cooking with coconut oil. And I actually like the flavor of the coconut oil. And the thing with the coconut oil is you can use it for other things. It can be used on your skin and on your hair as well. So I keep a jar of coconut oil all the time in the kitchen and in the bathroom. So it's very, very versatile. So get our oil heated up here. So our ingredients for our second pasta, same pasta, but we're going to be using yellow squash, crookneck squash that grows in our garden all the time, and green zucchini, okay? Now there's also a golden version of zucchini. Didn't want to use that one because it would look so much like the squash, so we just wanted to have color here, and we're going to have our orange bell pepper as well for a little color. And this time we will be adding our inaki mushrooms. Now the inaki mushrooms may be a little new to you. I like them. They're very thin, simply like this. And what I've done is cut off the bottom of these mushrooms and left the tops intact. These were very inexpensive. I picked them up at our local farmer's market. They were actually 2 for $1. So for me, finding them that inexpensive, and this is one bunch. So this will be 50 cents, this whole bunch. So that was very affordable as opposed to maybe paying $2 or $3 for a pack of another mushroom. So let's go ahead and get our squash started. And I tend to start with the yellow squash simply because the yellow squash takes just a little bit longer to cook than the zucchini, okay? So there's our squash. And it may seem like a lot, but once again, this is a veggie dish. So we want to emphasize our vegetables here, and we don't want to have just a few vegetables and a whole bunch of pasta because your veggies are where you're getting your nutrients from in this dish. So we want to go heavy on our veggies. And once again, had I gotten my fresh garlic, I would have used fresh garlic here, but I did forget the garlic. So once again, we will be using the granulated garlic. But if you have fresh garlic, by all means use it. Garlic is very healthy for you. I try and incorporate garlic into all of my dishes when I'm cooking, especially vegetables. I emphasize people adding a lot of seasonings, but not salt. I tell people if you're going to add salt last. So if you notice in the first dish, I didn't add any salt until I got to the very end. I wanted to taste it, but I'm on television, so I didn't want to take up time and have something in my teeth. But really, most of the dishes I make, you can go ahead and make these dishes without salt, and you won't even miss it. So salt should be added last. Second, we're putting in our zucchini, our green zucchini. Okay, and we have our onions here. All right, and we're going to add our onions in. Probably should have put the onions in a little bit earlier, so I'm going to go a little light on the onions so I can give them time to actually cook. I do like for my onions to be cooked down very well, because I think that the onions actually add flavor. So I always add a few onions in the dish. All right. Just going to add in just a little bit more of our oil here, our coconut oil, because we want to make sure we have enough to actually cook it. That may seem like a lot of coconut oil, but once we add in the pasta will absorb quite a bit of that oil and give it a nice flavor. So here we go with our onions. And last but not least, we're going to add our peppers in. But I'm going to wait a minute on the peppers and on the mushrooms because they will take the least amount of time to cook. We have a big piece in here. Let me see if I can cut this piece. There we go. So if your pieces get a little stuck together, just go ahead and try and get them loose, because you want to make sure all of your vegetables are cooked very well. So, thinking about growing zucchini and squash, people say that this is probably the first vegetables to come into season for the summer because they usually come in very early. I planted squash from seeds, and my seeds came up probably in about 3 days, and in about 5 days they had their first little set of leaves, and in 2 weeks I saw the second set of leaves. So squash plants will grow very fast for you and will give you a very good yield. And I always encourage people, if you can grow something and if you have space to grow something during the summer here in Georgia, by all means try and grow something. If it's nothing more than just herbs that you can use, because if you buy these herbs, that herb cost me about $2. I can buy a $2 basil plant that will give me basil all summer long. And once it's done, all I have to do is buy another basil plant. Or if you're a seed starter, start your basil or any of your herbs from seeds. That way you'll save even more money. I actually start mine from seeds, but sometime I'll buy a plant and get it started, or take a plant and give it as a gift to someone. All right? So it's going to take us a minute to get our zucchini and squash cooked. So we're going to take our time because we don't want our vegetables to taste very raw in this dish. We want to make sure that our vegetables are cooked pretty good. But if you like yours a little bit crunchy, by all means stop the cooking and you can eat them crunchier. I like this to be kind of halfway, not mushy, because squash and zucchini both will get very mushy. So I don't want this to be mushy, but I do want them to be cooked so I'm not getting too much of a crunch in this dish, because I'm serving this dish warm. If you were serving it cold, you could serve this kind of as a pasta dish and serve it cold if you wanted to. But we're doing a warm dish today. We would do the same side items with this. And if you're a meat lover, and I hear people say, oh my goodness, I can't just eat vegetable. If not, fine. You can add plenty of meat to this dish. You can add, once again, the chicken, the shrimp, the salmon. All of those things will go well with it. This could be your side dish. So you have a lot of options here. All right. We're going to go ahead and add our yellow bell pepper. That gives us quite a bit of color. I like the color that the bell pepper gives. All right. I'm going to go ahead and add in our mushrooms here. And that's what they look like. And all I'm doing is basically going to just break these apart. And they'll come apart a little bit more in the cooking process, but I'll go ahead and break them up. These may look a little dainty and delicate, but they're actually really firm. They're actually a really firm mushroom, and they're really good. Something very different than what I'm used to, but we need to try other things. We don't need to use the same thing every day. So just by me deciding, you know what, that's on sale, 2 for $1, I'm going to try it. That was over a year ago, and I've been using these mushrooms in dishes ever since that time, because now that I know what they are, and they're cute. They look different. They look like kind of like something from outer space almost, like a little Martian head there. So I think they're really cute. So we're going to go ahead and get those incorporated in. Okay, let me see how I'm doing on time here. All right, so we got that going. We're going to finish this dish up, and we're going to take a break, and we're going to come back, and we're going to be talking to Miss Crystal McFadden with our 4-H department, and Crystal will be talking to us about all of the summer activities that 4-H has going on. So I'm going to get this wrapped up so I can give her about 5 or 10 minutes to talk about that with you, okay? All right, so let me get this going. I'm going to go ahead and add some more of my seasoning here. I have my garlic, granulated garlic I'm adding it. Okay, I'm going to add a little parsley to this. All right, adding in my basil. It's quite a bit of basil. All right, and I'm going to add in some paprika, because the paprika gives it a little color. I'm a little heavy on the paprika, but I like it. And also we're going to be adding cayenne pepper because we add just a little bit of heat to this. This dish is kind of a take on a dish I used to order called Cajun chicken pasta. This is kind of like a veggie Cajun pasta almost, okay? And there we go. And the next ingredient will be our last ingredient, which will be our pasta. So we're going to grab our pasta here. Going to add that in. And there we go. And I use 2 pounds of pasta for both of these dishes. All right. All right, and there we go. That's our dish. And we can let this simmer a little bit here. Sit there and let the flavors marinate. And there we go. And that is our veggie pasta dish. Very, very good. All right. So I hope you'll take some of these recipes and make them yourself and try them, all right? So we're going to end with the cooking, and when we come back, we'll be talking to Crystal about the summer activities with 4-H. Thank you.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextsstopwrecks.org.
The odds of winning 6 Grammy Awards? 1 in 1.4 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I'm Toni Braxton. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
Do your part. Visit feedingamerica.org/hunger and find your local food bank today.
Welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. We're here now with Miss Crystal McFadden, and Crystal has some wonderful information she's going to be sharing with us about what 4-H has going on for the summer. Crystal, what do you guys have going on? I hear it's very, very exciting.
Well, thank you so much for having me again, Miss Terry.
Yes.
I look forward to coming here and speaking with you. So today, I am here. I'm the Community Service Specialist here with 4-H and Youth. I am the Community Service Specialist with the AmeriCorps here in Cobb County, and I would love to give you an opportunity to tell you some fun things about summer at 4-H, okay? So the first thing we have coming up is Rock Eagle Camp, and that's Cloverleaf Campus for 4th through 6th graders, okay? And they have a lot of fun activities to do there. So the cost is $350. It covers transportation to and from camp, all meals and activities. And some of the activities include canoeing, swimming at both pools at Rock Eagle, and they even have a water slide at one of those pools.
I love Rock Eagle,
Yes.
Crystal. You know what? For the first time, I got a chance to actually go to Rock Eagle. My kids have been going to Rock Eagle for many, many years. I always wondered, what was it about? And when I got there and saw the camp for the first time, it's an amazing facility. It's no 2 or 3 little raggedy camp shacks. It's state of the art. They have wonderful facilities there. Awesome activities for the kids. I love Rock Eagle. You can't go wrong with
Rock
doing
Eagle
that.
is one of the world's largest 4-H centers in the world.
Oh my goodness.
So it's really awesome.
We're very
there.
lucky.
I go all the time with 4-H and Youth, and I enjoy every single trip. I really do.
I can imagine that.
So then the next activity we have going on, are for the summer times. If you have kids that are going to be at the house with you, you have grandkids that are coming to visit, this would be a good one for you. And so we're offering 8 summer activities, and this is our brochure right here. So if you'd like to log on to cobbextension.org, you can find us online, and this brochure will be there. Or if you just want to come to Cobb Extension, we're located at 678 South Cobb Drive, and you can come and pick up a brochure and sign your kids up. And so some of the activities that we have a farm tour and bowling. We're going to have sewing and service. That's for 4th through 12th graders. That's going to be a $15 fee.
Wow.
We try to make all our activities from 8 to 5, so it's convenient for the parents. If
During
you have
the
to
day,
work
yes.
or do anything, you can drop them off before you go to work and pick
Right.
them up on your way home.
Oh, wow.
And so it's a really, really great activities. We also have the UGA tour in Athens, and so
Oh,
that's going to
okay.
be for 6th through 12th graders, and that fee is going to be $20. We also have the chopped class and pool, and that's going to be starring you,
Yes.
Miss Terry, and the kids. I've been to cooking class with Miss Terry, and so I know the kids look forward to cooking with you.
Yes.
And that fee is also $20. We also have history, science, and ice cream. That's going to be on June 6th. That's $20.
Okay.
Sweetwater State Park, then that's going to be a $15 event.
Now, what will you be doing at Sweetwater State Park?
Oh, that one's going to be really nice. We're going to go ahead and experience the wooded trails, the visitor
Oh, my
center,
goodness,
and the
yes.
boating on the lake. So the ranger will point out some of the native trees, species,
Oh,
the color along the
wonderful.
forest trails. And after the hike, they're going to visit the visitor center, and they're going to spend the rest of the afternoon on the pedal boats. So it's going to
that's
be really,
wonderful.
really nice.
Sweetwater Creek Park is an awesome park. It's one of my favorite places to go.
Have you done the tour?
I haven't done the tour with
Oh,
a
it's
guided
really
tour,
nice.
but
Oh,
I've done
it's
it
really
myself,
nice.
and I've gone on many of the hiking trails. The hiking trails are amazing.
Yes.
So that's going to be a wonderful one. I mean,
I had my
kids
baby
love-
with me, had him on the backpack.
really? Oh,
Oh, man,
that's
me and the
amazing.
kids, we went on the trail. It's really nice. And
It
I
is.
enjoy that just for my personal time.
Yes,
But with
yes.
the other kids, I think this will be a great opportunity. So if the kids have not been there before and your grandkids are coming, or you have kids at home for the summer, feel free to sign them up. And again, that fee is only going to be $15. We're also going to have Tubing in Helen. That's going to be $20. And then the
Okay.
last one is going to be the Fun and Flex. That one's going to be June 20th, and that one's $25. So feel free to get our brochure, and then you will just fill out this inside. You can cut it off so you can keep all the dates, and you'll just fill this one off. You can check which one you would like to attend. It starts on June 6th. The last one is going to be June 29th, okay?
wow.
And so you can sign them up for just one, or you can sign them up as many as you'd like, okay?
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Crystal. That's been some wonderful information. If you have more questions, please don't hesitate to call Crystal, call our office. We can assist you and answer any questions you have. All right? Thank you so much.